I lay out the horrific chain of events out of Ohio and where the case could be heading.
Are you familiar with the acts of someone that is not in their right mind when they commit a criminal act?
So this father, ladies and gentlemen, just lost his son a day before. They chased him because supposedly he was in a stolen car and supposedly he had the gun. And they deleted him. The father was so angry and he decided, you know what, I want to repeat that action. Found the nearest cop he could find.
Now to the case out of Ohio where Larry Henderson had retired as a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy last December. He was still working, though, occasionally for that sheriff's office in Cincinnati doing special details. Last Friday, he was doing that, directing traffic for graduation at the University of Cincinnati when police say a man named Rodney Hinton Jr. deliberately drove his vehicle into Henderson at this intersection. Within hours, he passed away from these devastating injuries. Why would anybody deliberately drive a vehicle into somebody, much less a sheriff's deputy who was directing traffic at a college graduation?
If I have to be honest, many times I ask myself, why do the most nicest chill person usually reaching the moment they can finally relax receive something in life they didn't even deserve?
Well, police say Rodney Hinton Jr. did this on purpose, possibly to avenge the death of his son Ryan Hinton. Ryan Hinton was 18 years old, and a day earlier, a Cincinnati police officer shot and killed him after encountering him and some others in a car that had been reported stolen out of Kentucky. Here's the police chief.
Officers across the country confront dangerous situations every day, sometimes more than once a day. They are often compelled to make split-second decisions to protect others and themselves when faced with immediate threats. Yesterday was one of those occurrences. Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic. No one wins, and everyone involved is affected.
Police Chief Teresa Thigi outlined what occurred. It's something the Cincinnati Police Department does within 24 hours of an officer-involved shooting taking place.
Seems reasonable to me, but sad, man. Like, this is sad.
Where the incident occurred is at the dead end of the parking lot back here. You'll see vehicles there now. You'll see a photo. The stolen car that we're going to talk about was backed into a parking spot back there. As you can see, this is a stolen Kia. It was stolen out of northern Kentucky yesterday. You can see we have two uniformed cars there. Prior to those uniformed cars arriving, we had two undercover cars that pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They backed out. They saw that there were individuals inside the vehicle, so they backed out and let the uniform cars make the approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way the officers are trained. We are trained to use our vehicles as cover from any threat. That's what those officers did with the cars at that time. This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene. This is the firearm that was recovered at the scene after the individual was shot. This is what he had in his hand while the officers were chasing him.
I wish they showed the full footage, but maybe because of YouTube they didn't show it.
Like the Blair Witch Project, man. God dang. Oh, shoot.
The individual is running with a firearm in his hand. The officer is running, so the body camera is kind of jolting as the officer's running. What that leaves us with is a very blurred image, unfortunately. However, based on the officer's interviews, the officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. It was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm. So that officer who fired was actually chasing a different suspect when he encountered the individual armed with a firearm. And again, so for them to process and determine a different course of action, I think is unreasonable.
And now that you have that information, I'm just going to show you how people are covering this right now. So as you can see, Tariq Nasheed said, when you watch the body cam footage, Ryan Hinton clearly did not point a gun at Cincinnati police officer. Those type of I am white and I say so lies are always used to justify unaliving black youths. And that is why Ryan's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. crashed out after he saw the footage and realized the police lied about what really happened. And people are making like gangster videos because the father in the court was walking in front of the cop with like a righteous face. And the comment section seems interesting. I'm looking at the comment section and I'm like, why do you cheer a man that has so much rage? It's okay to put it on somebody else that had nothing to do with that. I don't understand that specific part that sometimes thinks they represent the black community.
This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds. Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident.
As a father, I don't wish anybody to experience that pain. And as a father, I can understand that pain. But at least I have a way to find peace. And I don't think this is the right way.
Ryan Hinton's grandfather, the father of Rodney Hinton, also spoke.
I want to give a condolence out to the officers that got hurt, got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson. I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I had nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and I represent him. So with that said, please, everybody, just try to forgive everybody who done anything to anybody.
And I believe that is the only way. He is right. There are two scared people. One is allowed to have a gun legally and the other is not. You're running away, you fell, and they heard a gun. I'm not saying they're supposed to go blam blam blah blam. But the whole idea that you just turn around, you better have your hands down. Because everybody is afraid in that situation. And I'm even more surprised why you're in that situation. Because I still remember the day that I got arrested in front of my father. You know what he did? He just drove away. And I asked him, what the heck was that? He told me, it's your responsibility. I did everything right. I'm at home. You have food, you have a roof, and you live in a special neighborhood. Why did you do that? And something just clicked in my brain. And since that day, I started thinking very different about life. Why the heck would you go in the face of the people that are friends of a retired person that gives his leftover time to help people? He's gone forever. He's gone forever. Personally, I don't like reactionary people. I consider them very dangerous because I almost went to prison because of it. And not because I was the one reacting. I was friend with somebody reacting like that. When I warned you it will get us into trouble, and you did it anyway.
And things got heated in the gallery when his brother attempted to contact him by knocking on the courtroom glass.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat, sir. Sit down. That way. That's my problem.
I find this moment so sad because in that situation, the best thing you can do for your brother is showing everybody that you are the brother with restraint. And your brother had a bad moment. But now everybody's gonna think, or everybody saw, that you have a specific way and maybe it's normal around your brother.
Judge, I'm going to waive probable cause as a result of being acquainted with the case. I'm waiving probable cause.
Thank you so much. And is there a plea this morning?
There's a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Plea of not guilty?
Yes.
Will you enter a plea of not guilty? And thank you. And as to bond, the state has requested a hearing on the issue of bond or bail. You may be aware of that.
I am aware of that.
Who would like to proceed?
I'm proceeding, Your Honor.
Thank you.
But the fact that he only shows emotion at that moment proves to me that he really cares about his family. But how he redirects his rage is not the right way.
Meanwhile, a detective testified about what happened that day.
Struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Okay. Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
And is that the conclusion that our accident reconstructionists have come to at this point?
At this time, yes.
Okay. And does it appear from your review of the video that he headed straight for Deputy Henderson?
Yes.
To offer on behalf of the Hinton family and myself, prayers to the Hinton family, prayers to the family of Larry Henderson, the fallen deputy, and I thank the court for having a fair assembly in the courtroom today. With that, I'd like to ask you a few questions, not a lot, okay?
Yes, sir.
You said that Mr. Hinton left the police station around 12:30. CIS.
He initially left around 10:30
Came back and then left again.
and then returned a couple hours later, yes.
And you said that individuals that know Mr. Hinton, his family members, were saying that he appeared to be agitated, upset, and so forth, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't know the source of that that agitation or that distraughtness, do you? If you know, you might not. I don't think you do, but you have to answer the question.
The source of the agitation?
Yes.
I don't understand what that has to do with that. He was hit by a car. Why do you need to know if he was in a good mood or not?
Well, I would assume it was because of I believe it was because of the video and the reason that he was at
Right.
CIS.
Do you know the mental history of Mr. Hinton?
No, I do not know detailed mental history.
Right. Do you know whether or not he's had any medically documented infirmities or conditions? Do you know that? You don't, do you?
No, I do not.
After bond was denied, the sheriff gave a brief statement.
To me, I have enough information. I don't need to know that he was a great guy. I don't need to know if he has a mental health issue. I just know he was at the traffic stop doing a job and he was a target for something that is not related to. And now we have certain people celebrating it, and I'm like, hey man, if we keep going like this, hey, we're just going to see more divide. The only person I like in this whole thing is the grandfather. Said that we got two scared people that had an interesting engagement. He wants to forgive both people for their action, the situation they're in, because he recognized both of them were afraid.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam jam, durloqueta, verdeta, welcome.